Finally back, huh, you witch.
What?
It was when I came home from shopping and opened the door. My husband came running from the back and said that. I couldn't believe he would say something like that to me, even though we're married. You really fooled me, didn't you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyone would react that way if they were suddenly told something like that. Then, my husband showed me something.
Well, you'll understand if you see this, right?
What he was holding was a small box. Inside, there was a note of bank information with $400,000 of retirement money hidden in it. Moreover, it was supposed to be locked so it wouldn't be found.
Why do you have that?
I don't need to tell you that. But, hiding it in such a place. He laughed at me as if mocking me. He must have searched for it while I was away.
It's the same as stealing to take it without permission.
What are you talking about? Your money is our marital property. I'm free to do whatever I want with it, right?
Don't joke with me.
I gave your retirement money of $400,000 to my mom. No complaints, right? If you refuse, it's divorce. I couldn't understand how he could think that way. Of course, I had no intention of giving even a penny to my oppressive mother-in-law. However, at this moment, I had an idea. If that's what you want, please go ahead. Yeah, I will. In that case, let's get a divorce. I was gonna do that anyway. I filed for divorce immediately. And a month later. During this time, my ex-husband and his family were recklessly spending on houses, trips, and more. I would never just hand over the money that easily.
Hey! What's this all about? The balance is only 7 cents.
That was to be expected. I had been plotting my revenge on them shortly after our divorce. What awaited them was hell itself. I'm Ivy, currently working at a securities company. I've been busy but fulfilling my days.
Sorry. The meeting went longer than expected.
It's okay. So, where are you taking me today? That's for you to find out. I had a boyfriend since college. Tim, who would later become my husband. It had become a routine for us to go out for dinner after work. We both liked alcohol, so we often went to bars and such. But today was a little different.
Here?
Yes, let's hurry. He took me to a fancy restaurant with a beautiful night view. While enjoying our time, Tim suddenly got serious. I braced myself. Will you marry me? Are you sure about me?
Of course. I want to be with you forever. Yes.
I had suspected, but Tim proposed to me. We were applauded by those around us, and I was enveloped in happiness. Then we went to greet his parents.
I'm nervous.
It's okay, they're both kind. He reassured me, so I was able to greet them without worry. His parents warmly welcomed us, and without any trouble, we became husband and wife. Our married life began smoothly at first. Since we shared household chores, I was able to focus on my work.
My dad has.
I received a panicked call from Tim while at work.
What's wrong? Did something happen to your father? Just got a call from Mom. He collapsed and was taken to the hospital. What? Is he okay?
Tim didn't answer right away. A bad feeling came over me.
Is he okay?
He's unconscious right now. It seems my father-in-law had a subarachnoid hemorrhage. The sudden news confused me too.
I'll come too.
Are you sure?
Of course.
I quickly explained the situation to my boss and got permission to leave early. Fortunately, the hospital wasn't too far away, so I arrived quickly.
Where's your father?
I asked Tim, but he just shook his head.
Could it be?
He didn't make it. My father-in-law had passed away just before I arrived at the hospital.
Then, what about your mother?
She hasn't come.
Why not?
Tim's expression darkened even more. Those two weren't on good terms.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
They pretended to be okay in front of others. It was shocking news. In the end, my mother-in-law didn't come to the hospital that day. The funeral was led by Tim. My mother-in-law did attend the funeral but seemed somewhat inconvenienced. Curious, I approached her.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. It was good that he died soon.
What?
Such an end suited that man.
That's a bit too harsh.
What? I felt fear in my mother-in-law's face.
No, nothing.
Well, anyway, he's gone now, so I'll do as I please.
What do you mean?
You'll find out soon enough, she said, laughing. I didn't fully understand the intention behind my mother-in-law's words at that time. And soon, I would face an event that made it all too clear. That day, Tim took a personal day off. I came home after 9 p.m. from work and found an unexpected person waiting, my mother-in-law.
Do you always come home this late? Why are you here?
Shouldn't I have come?
No, it's not that. Where's Tim?
He said he was going out to eat with friends and left a while ago. I had received no such message. The problem was, this was the first time I was alone with my mother-in-law. Ever since hearing about her relationship with my father-in-law, I had been wary of her.
Let's not stand around talking here.
Come in.
Yes.
She acted as if it was her own house. Sitting across from her, I felt tense.
So, are you and Tim getting along?
Yes. We don't have any problems.
And when are you having kids?
Kids? You're always working, aren't you?
At this rate,
you'll never have kids.
That's true.
She continued to nag. It was as if my mother-in-law was venting all her stress on me. And after she was satisfied, she left. Then, as if passing ships, Tim came home.
I'm home.
Welcome back.
I need to talk to you right away.
Oh, okay. After changing, Tim came back.
What's the talk about? It's about your mom. Why didn't you tell me?
I was surprised too when she suddenly showed up. Plus, I didn't have much notice. So, what did she say?
I just listened to your mom's complaints the whole time.
Sorry about that. And maybe Mom felt lonely after Dad died?
Really?
But she was bad-mouthing your dad too. Maybe she just wanted someone to talk to. I could have tolerated that alone. However, since our house and my mother-in-law's place weren't too far apart, she started coming over all the time. That's when the real nightmare began. Less than a week later, my mother-in-law showed up again. It was my day off, but this meant I couldn't relax even on my supposed break.
I'm just gonna borrow Tim for a bit.
Are you going somewhere? Never mind that. We'll be off then. With that, the two of them left. What bothered me was that Tim didn't say anything about it. Anyway, I decided to catch up on the household chores I couldn't do during the work week. They didn't return until the evening. We're back. Today, I took Tim out for some fancy French cuisine.
Is that so?
Wished you would have joined. I wasn't so petty as to sulk over something like that. No, I had things to do as well. Really? You're not upset? She tried to provoke me, but I didn't take the bait. Then Tim came to my rescue. Mom, that's enough. Isn't it about time you headed home? Oh, is it that late already? Well, I guess I'll be leaving then. See you later, Ivy. After seeing my mother-in-law off, I let out a big sigh. Sorry about today. Couldn't help around the house. It's okay. I could manage on my own. I thought spending a little time with her would make her happy. She disliked your dad, but maybe she just misses having someone to argue with? I'll tell her not to come over for a while. Thank you. I felt relieved to have someone so dependable. After that, my mother-in-law stopped coming over unannounced, and we could live in peace. Our interactions were limited to occasional family gatherings, and life was peaceful. I turned 30 and we were blessed with the child we had longed for. I believed this would make us even happier. Mom says she wants to help you out, Ivy. What do you think? She means to take care of me? It was about 10 weeks into my pregnancy.
Probably.
I was really torn. I didn't want to deal with my mother-in-law, but morning sickness was getting worse, so the offer did have its merits.
What should I do? I'll support you as much as I can.
That decided it for me.
Then, let's accept her offer. Okay. I'll let Mom know.
A week later, my mother-in-law arrived. And she brought a lot of stuff with her.
What's with all the baggage? Well, I'm going to be taking care of you, so I'll need to stay here for a while.
I had assumed she would be coming over as needed. I immediately checked with my husband.
What does this mean? Is your mom planning to stay here? I didn't know about this either. For now, let's just go with what my mom says. Make sure you're there to back me up if something happens. Yeah, I get it.
I was doubtful he truly understood, but I had to trust his word. And so, the three of us started living together.
I'll be using this room. Wait a minute, that's my room.
I had secured a room to use as an office when we moved into this house. My mother-in-law demanded that room. It's fine, isn't it?
I have important documents in there, so that's not possible.
For the night, she slept in the room we had intended for the baby. But when I came home from work the next day, all the office stuff was in the hallway.
What are you doing?
You wouldn't listen, so I had to take action.
This is unacceptable.
As we argued, Tim just happened to come home.
What are you doing? Your mom cleared out the entire study room. Say something to her.
Then, my husband said something unbelievable.
We owe a lot to Mom. Can't you just let her have one room?
From that moment, my suspicion towards my husband grew. I had told him numerous times to ensure his mother didn't do things like this.
Fine. You can use that room as you please. You should have said that from the start.
The cohabitation with my mother-in-law continued until I gave birth. I decided not to bother with her anymore, thinking it was a waste of time. After giving birth to our daughter Holly, my mother-in-law finally left the house. I thought I could finally focus on raising my child without her interference. Though she did visit occasionally, my husband acted as a barrier, keeping her in check.
Finally got it. Now that Holly is here, even if Mom visits, it won't be like before. Can I really trust you this time?
Of course. He kept his word and protected me. Holly grew quickly, and before we knew it, she was a middle schooler.
We're moving to my parents' house tomorrow.
It was the day before Holly's birthday.
What? Tomorrow is Holly's birthday.
So what? It's already been decided.
Why all of a sudden?
You know why? I had no idea. Looking back, I couldn't think of any reason. We were forced to move to my in-laws' house against my will. The husband who used to stand by me was no longer there. Before I knew it, he took his mother's side, and his attitude towards me hardened.
You've always looked down on me. What? How did you come to that conclusion?
Mom told me. Obviously, you work at a better company.
I've never done such a thing.
You've been hiding it, haven't you? After that, my husband refused to talk to me. And watching all this, my mother-in-law just laughed.
What a pity. What have you been telling him?
Nothing special. Just that Ivy looks down on you. Didn't think he'd believe it to this extent.
I've never thought that, not even once.
Maybe Tim always felt inferior, knowing his wife earns more. It was true I earned more than him, but he knew that before we got married. I didn't think that alone would change how he felt. So, my mother-in-law must have said something else.
Did you say anything else?
Smart of you to catch on.
So, what was it?
Recently, you've been meeting with a man, haven't you?
A man?
I realized there must be some misunderstanding.
Are you talking about my brother?
Your brother? Don't bother lying.
It's not a lie.
I showed her a family photo. It was understandable for her to be mistaken. Since my brother was overseas, there were hardly any chances for them to meet.
Is this the person you saw?
Maybe it was him. I'm old, you know. She must have wanted to insinuate that I was having an affair.
What's your aim by doing this?
Aim? It's obvious. Because it's fun.
That's absurd.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm old and don't have much time left. Might as well live as I please. Honestly, I thought she was mad. Using her son to play such games was beyond reason. Also, Holly has doubts about you. You better clear things up quickly.
To involve your own granddaughter in this.
You have no allies now. Entertain me more. She left those words behind and went back to her room. That night, I asked my husband and daughter to come to the living room to tell them the truth. What do you want at this hour? I want to sleep.
It'll be quick.
About what Mom said? That topic?
Just to be clear, I haven't done anything Mom accused me of.
Are you talking about the affair?
That's my brother. He just came back here, and we met up.
Holly silently listened to our conversation. Do you really expect me to believe that now?
Then ask my brother yourself.
If you just tell him to match his story with yours, it'll all work out, won't it?
You don't believe me.
Who would believe such nonsense? What a waste of time. Be prepared. My husband headed to the bedroom, leaving me and my daughter alone. As I slumped on the sofa, my daughter spoke up.
I believe you, Mom. Holly. If I look at how you've been, I can tell you're not lying. Thank you for believing in me.
Just hearing that made me incredibly happy. But the turmoil with my husband and mother-in-law was far from over. As soon as I arrived at the in-laws, the harassment from my mother-in-law began. From now on, you'll follow my instructions. You're in a position to be grateful. I didn't respond. Apparently, that triggered her. Not replying is disrespectful. You'll clean until I say you're done today. Saying so, she left with my husband and daughter to celebrate the birthday. Left alone, I cleaned the house furiously to vent my frustration. They returned late at night. Both my husband and mother-in-law ignored me. But my daughter spoke to me.
Mom. I didn't say it earlier, but happy birthday. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Then that's good. But I'm okay, Holly. Don't worry too much about me.
I tried to reassure her, but I wasn't satisfied. I attempted to talk to Tim before bed, but he wouldn't engage. I'm tired. Let me sleep.
Can't you at least listen?
I have to get up early tomorrow. Don't disturb my sleep.
Just a minute.
I shook him, lying beside me. But he angrily shrugged me off without looking at me. Despite my attempts to keep talking, he didn't respond. Giving up, I went to sleep. After we started living together, the harassment wasn't just when Holly wasn't looking, it became blatant. Stress from work and home accumulated, and my health started to decline.
Mom, are you okay? Maybe you should rest a bit. Thanks. But I have to keep going here. Should I talk to Dad and Grandma? I can't put you in that position, Holly. But if something happens to you, I'm fine. If I really can't handle it, I'll rest, okay?
Holly was the only one concerned about me. Tim and my mother-in-law seemed indifferent to my health. Instead, they seemed to push me further. One morning, I overslept unusually. Hey, how long are you going to sleep? Tim kicked the bed. Sorry. I'm not feeling well. That's not my problem. Get up and make breakfast. Just give me a moment. Hurry up. He tried to drag me out of bed. I'm getting up. Despite feeling headache and feverish, I got up to prepare breakfast. Finally up, huh? Don't dawdle and get ready quickly. We're running out of time, hurry up. I decided it was better to follow orders than to argue back. I quickly made breakfast and set the table. By then, I was at my limit. All this time, and this is all you could make? I had prepared scrambled eggs, soup, and bread. What is this? Serving such a lazy meal, what were you thinking? My mother-in-law sighed. Tim joined in her criticism. Really, just like Mom said. This isn't fit to eat. Then let's have you remake it. Hearing those words, I felt my consciousness fading. Not even able to prepare a decent meal. This is the problem with people who can only work. Don't just stand there, get moving. I collapsed right there. Just then, my daughter woke up. Mom! After hearing her voice, I completely lost consciousness. When I woke up next, I was lying in a hospital bed. Where am I? You're in the hospital. We called an ambulance. Holly called for me? Yeah. I told you not to push yourself too hard. My daughter was worried but also angry. Sorry. And those two. She seemed hesitant to answer. They were here until they found out it was overwork. Then they left. I see. It's just wrong. Only Mom ends up like this. I've been targeted for a while. Can't we do something? It'll only get worse. We can't continue like this. I stayed in the hospital for about 2 days. Leaving the hospital, I pondered what to do next. Continuing as we were, something like this might happen again. So, I thought of reducing the stress a little. There wasn't much I could do about my husband and mother-in-law immediately. That left my job. Perhaps quitting was the only option. Fortunately, my company was looking for early retirees due to the economic downturn. I was 45 this year. I've been with the company for over 20 years. Still of working age. Yet, I chose early retirement. I've decided to quit my job. What? Why are you making decisions on your own? You say that? Who do you think caused all this? Plus, you'll be happy I quit my job, right? What? Well, I might have been earning more before, but now you'll be the main breadwinner. Well, that's true. Now that you're in a superior position, it's not a bad thing, right? Tim seemed a bit smug. He was satisfied with me being beneath him. This was exactly what I was aiming for. There was something I absolutely could not let them find out. The existence of my severance pay. If they found out, it wouldn't end well. So, I decided to keep it a secret. Now that you've quit your job, you'll take care of everything at home. Okay. Oh, being cooperative now. Now that I'll have more time. Since then, focusing solely on household chores, my health began to improve. I could endure that much. And then, as I came home from shopping and opened the door. Finally back, you witch. What? My husband came running from the back and said that. I couldn't believe he would say such a thing, even though we're married. You really fooled me, didn't you? I don't understand what you mean. Anyone would react that way if suddenly confronted with such a claim. Then, my husband showed me something. Well, you'll understand if you see this, right? What he was holding was a small box. Inside was a note of bank information hidden with $400,000 of severance pay. Moreover, it was supposed to be locked so it wouldn't be found. Why do you have that? I don't need to tell you that. But hiding it like this. He laughed at me as if mocking me. He must have searched for it while I was away. Taking it without permission is just like being a thief. What are you talking about? Your money is our marital property. I'm free to do whatever I want with it, right? Don't joke with me. I gave your severance pay of $400,000 to my mom. No complaints, right? If you refuse, it's divorce. Then my mother-in-law came. Your money will be put to good use by us. You'll regret this, I'm sure. What? That should be your line. You don't have the guts to divorce anyway. Just like Mom said. Without a job, you can't even live properly after divorce, can you? It was a mystery how they could think that way. Of course, I had no intention of giving even a penny to my oppressive mother-in-law. But here, I had an idea. If that's what you want, go ahead. Yeah, I will. In that case, let's get a divorce. I was planning on that anyway. Right, Mom? Yes, of course. We don't need someone useless in this house. Then I have one condition. Holly will stay with me. Do whatever you want. There was no need for pleasantries with a husband who would treat his own daughter that way. Then, I'll prepare the divorce papers immediately. Of course. The next day, I got the divorce papers and drafted another contract. Before submitting the divorce papers, could you sign this first? What's this? It's a pledge regarding our divorce. If you sign this, I won't claim any of your property. It's in your interest, right? Really? Of course. Fine, I'll sign it. And so, my husband signed the divorce papers. Then I explained the situation to my daughter. That's why we need to prepare to leave immediately. Understood. My daughter didn't question it. Maybe she had sensed something like this would happen. We left the in-laws' house with our belongings. For the time being, we headed to my parents' house. Sorry for this sudden situation. Don't worry about it. That house was never comfortable anyway. I doubt my parents' house will be like that. It's been a while, so I'm looking forward to it. I proceeded with divorce right away. A month after we returned to my parents' house. It seemed my ex-husband and his family had been recklessly spending on houses, trips, and more during this time. But I wouldn't hand over money that easily. Tim and his family hadn't realized something crucial. Sure enough, Tim called when he noticed. Hey! What's this about? There's only 7 cents left. That was to be expected. I had plotted my revenge on them shortly after our divorce. Did you really think you'd get $400,000? What are you saying? Where did all that money go? Did you spend it? What? Of course not. I'm not like you guys. Lucky for me you're foolish. Don't mess around. Explain properly. You can't withdraw with someone else's bank book anyway. I moved it to another account just in case. Tim fell silent. And you've been spending quite lavishly, haven't you? How will you pay for that? Were you counting on the $400,000? Wait, but I have a right to property division. If I exercise that. That's not possible. Why not? Because you signed the pledge before we divorced, remember? Was that for this moment? Well, noticing now is too late. Tim was fuming over the phone. I won't let this end here. Feel free to struggle. And say hi to your mom for me. I owe her a lot. Damn it! Do your best to pay off your debts. Bye. I hung up the phone. I've never felt such a sense of schadenfreude. Perhaps my heart had been hardened by their actions. I thought they should struggle for the rest of their lives. Mom, were you arguing with Dad just now? That's right. What was it about? Oh, just some stuff about assets. If Tim hadn't done unnecessary things, he wouldn't be chased by unpayable debts now. Nothing could be done at this point. Later, a friend who informed me about their reckless spending brought new information. It seems they've borrowed money from various places. How much did they spend? I don't know the exact amount, but it's easily over 8 figures. Then it can't be helped. By the way, he even asked me for a loan. Tim, out of desperation, had even resorted to shady lenders. It's as if their lives are practically over. It seems the relationship with my mother-in-law has hit rock bottom. They're blaming each other every day. My mother-in-law must have been fully counting on that $400,000, so she probably has no savings left. Again? You must have heard about us, right? Well, yeah. So? No, that's not going to happen. I haven't even said anything yet. It's obvious, isn't it? Money, right? Just pay it back little by little. Then I could hear Tim and my mother-in-law arguing over the phone. After a while, my mother-in-law took the phone. It's been a while. I don't really have anything to talk about. This is all your fault, isn't it? No, this is entirely on you. Can't you help us out? That's impossible. I never had any intention of helping you. You're the worst, you know that? Pot calling the kettle black. Afterwards, Tim seems to be working from morning till night. My mother-in-law tried to work too, but having been a housewife for so long, she apparently can't manage a job satisfactorily. It's nothing but just deserts. They can continue living buried in debt for all I care. Meanwhile, my daughter and I are enjoying our freedom. Using my severance pay, I started investing in stocks using the knowledge from my previous job. From now on, we'll live a happy life together, just the two of us.